Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to a rundown of some of the F1 news stories that have caught my eye over the last week. Kicking us off then is the news that Honda have admitted that the initial packaging of their 2019 power unit is a bit too aggressive. However, they did go on to play down any major concerns. Now, of course, all eyes are on Red Bull and Honda this season, and the noises coming from Milton Keynes have been generally positive. Their pace during winter testing looked good, and there were no major reliability concerns either. Despite that though, Honda's F1 technical director confirmed that the Japanese manufacturer would be making changes prior to the Australian Grand Prix. And when asked, he also fell short of committing to any expectations for the new season. We don't have a serious problem with the current installation, but we found some issues because of the tight packaging. The shape was a little bit too aggressive, so we need to make it a little bit different. It's not a big concern. Of course, we have a target, and a target through the year as well. We are not so confident with the current achievement. Still, there are a lot of areas we need to work on to catch up to the top competitors. Despite those, let's say, minor concerns coming from Honda, Helmut Marko continues to brim with confidence, stating that he believes Red Bull are second only to Ferrari, but also went on to say that former Honda partner McLaren will be fighting Williams to avoid finishing bottom of the pile. Many believe that Ferrari head into 2019 as the team to beat, with Williams bringing up the rear. However, nobody seems entirely sure of what the running order is between those two teams. Well, aside from Helmut Marko, of course. Ferrari is ahead, then we come in front of Mercedes, and then there is the big midfield where it will be very tight. McLaren and Williams are at the back. In fact, Marko is so confident in the Red Bull Honda package that he expects at least 5 victories in 2019, and when asked why he was feeling so confident, Marko said that it was the best test for us since the introduction of the hybrid formula. We did an incredible mileage despite Pierre Gasly's crashes. We had absolute reliability thanks to Honda. But what about his pick for the world title then? Well, you may be shocked to hear that Max Verstappen is his prediction. When it comes to who is where following testing, Red Bull are a tough one for me to call. It wasn't a trouble-free 2 weeks for them, and the pace wasn't anything particularly eye-catching either. Yet the general consensus seems to be that they are third fastest at worst, with quite a few agreeing with Marko's comments that they are in fact second. I'm not so sure though. We haven't seen everything from them, of course, but we also haven't seen everything that Ferrari or Mercedes have got either. And yes, I know this is such an obvious statement, but we are not going to have a decent idea about the running order of the top 3 and the majority of the grid, to be fair, until the flag falls at the end of Q3 in Australia. Not long though, that is a week on Saturday. Next up, and Paddy Lowe has said that the feedback the team have received from Robert Kubica has led them to believe that their 2019 car is a, quote, huge step forward compared to last year. After a very difficult start to winter testing, Williams did manage to get some good mileage in during week 2. However, their pace did not look good and running was cut short on the final day in Barcelona as the car had become, quote, ultimately too tired to continue. Lot of concerns. It is widely believed that Williams will once again prop up the grid this coming season, but despite a difficult winter, Lowe is still encouraged by the FW42's platform. Roberts has driven the old car around here quite a lot last year and has some very encouraging comments on the qualities of the car. He feels that we've made a huge step forward in terms of the platform. A car that is far more drivable, a car that you can work with from a driving point of view, you can control your management of tyres, you can control the balance and pace, was definitely not a description we would have given about last year's car. So that is very encouraging. When you have a platform that performs inconsistently, it compounds the issue of understanding and exploiting the tyres on a single lap and long runs. This was the key thing we wanted to do, to have a car that had a drivable platform. It is good to hear some positive noises coming out of Williams, but let's be completely honest about this. The whole situation is a total mess. Talk of infighting, finger pointing, people refusing to take responsibility, even question marks over Paddy Lowe's future. Just, yeah, a mess. There are even some reports beginning to surface that the FW42 isn't even legal. Specifically, the mirrors and suspension, meaning that if true, there is a lot of work to do before next week's Australian Grand Prix to modify that car and bring it into line with the regulations. However, I must say at this point, these are only reports, and at time of recording, there doesn't appear to be anything official. This could well be a topic for another video, but with the team looking set to enjoy yet another miserable season trundling around at the back, perhaps it is time for some changes in personnel, particularly at management level. Frankly, something has got to change because it just is not working. And finally, Carey said that there is room on the F1 calendar for more races. It has been reported in the past that Liberty would like to see up to 25 races on the calendar at some point, but that has been met with criticism from some teams and some drivers. There are big question marks over the futures of the British, Mexican, Spanish, Italian and German Grand Prix, with all of those deals set to expire at the end of this year, and with just Vietnam set to be added in 2020, it is surely crucial that some of those races are tied down to new deals quickly. But Carey is confident that either some of those deals will be renewed or new tracks will be added instead. We value our races, some are long-term partners, some not quite as long. I think our first approach is if we can get to a place that works for both of us, is to renew races. We have races around the world that we'd like to add, races including not just new markets, but some traditional markets like Western Europe. So I think it is engaging with partners, seeing if we can get to a place that works for us, and try to judge that against the opportunities we have in other markets. That is a process we're engaged in now with the renewals for 2020, which won't be different than every year. I think we increasingly feel pretty good about the trajectory of that and the ability to continue to have a healthy business there. And we are looking, and we've talked about it, I think there's room to add a bit to the race calendar. I should also add that according to the Netherlands Sport Council, Zandvoort is now seen as the only suitable candidate to host a future F1 race. An open letter has been submitted to Dutch Parliament, and it is made clear within it that due to its close proximity to cities and airports, Zandvoort is the best option. The letter also reads, quote, FOM stated that the only possibility of the Formula 1 race being awarded to the Netherlands is if the business case of Zandvoort is completed in time to the deadlines discussed. So I guess watch this space on that one. I included this story because I really wanted to open it up to you guys. If you could add any races to a future F1 calendar, what would they be? Let me know your picks in the comment section down below. That is it then for this video, and as well as the races you'd like to see on the F1 calendar, don't forget you can let me know any of your thoughts on the news stories featured in this week's rundown in the comment section. Now, I will be back later this week with my 2019 season preview, and don't forget to join us live at 6 PM UK time this Sunday as we look ahead to the new season and next weekend's Australian Grand Prix. It's nearly here. In the meantime, though, you can follow me over on social media. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.